Start. Umagyantimirandasya Gyananjan Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamahiyam Dadati Swapadantikam. He Krishna Karna Sindhu Deen Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kantha Radha Kantha Namastute Taptakanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishpanuste Devi Pranamami Haripe. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advait Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Imam Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Pasthaya, Bhutale, Shivati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namne. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurvani Pacharine, Nirvishesha Srinivadi, Paschatya Deshatarine. Okay, welcome. So I've been asked, we are going to do reflections on 4th Canto, 31st chapter, only for 10 minutes. And then we will move on to the 5th Canto. And then hopefully we have time and then we can do the Manasiksha verse 2. Okay, so reflections from 4.31. Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, I would like to have someone raise their hands. Everybody should participate, please. We have only 10 minutes. I'm not going to give more time. What are some of the things that you're taking away from that particular chapter? The chapter name is Pracheta. Narad Muni instructs the Prachetas. Yes. If no one is going to participate, then I'll move on to 5th Canto. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Okay, let's participate. What are some of the things? I'll give you the summary. The Prachetas have retired from their kingdom and now they go to the seashore where King Jajali was residing. I'm sorry, Saint Jajali was residing. And then they do austerities for thousands of years. And then they meet Narad Muni. And when Narad Muni comes, they request the Narad Muni to please instruct them again on the importance of devotional service to Krishna. They say that we were instructed by Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu themselves, but somehow or other we have forgotten it due to the attachment to the family. Narad Muni starts to glorify Krishna. He says that devotional service is the goal of all spiritual practices. And then he talks about how devotional service is the Supreme Lord is worthy of all worship and then satisfy the all-powerful Lord by bhakti. And then there was last part, which is conclusion. So which part of the chapter has touched you in your reading or classes for what we have been doing? What's your take-home point? Yes. What are you taking away from that chapter? You can raise your hand.
Is,
Okay, please raise your hand so I can give chance. I would love to have everyone participate, but speaking over each other doesn't help, right? Surekha Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji. The point is, without devotional service, there is no meaning of severe austerities or whatever shravanam you do and the whatever kirtan means you
Okay.
preach or whatever you do without actual devotional service, it has no meaning.
Practices of Vedic studies, etc. are useless. Very nice. Thank you very much, Mataji. Very nice. Madhu, my Krishna Kant, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. If we are doing service to the lotus feet of Krishna, our service becomes perfect. So there is no necessity for asking any benediction after taking service, after taking shelter at the lotus feet of Krishna.
Service to Krishna is all perfect. Okay, very nice. Thank you, Mataji. Surya Prakash Rao, Prabhuji.
Krishna Mataji.
Krishna.
What I understand from this chapter is the importance of the God, chanting Hare Krishna and always remembering Krishna. In the 14th sloka, he says that he has compared with some materialist thing, like, we we give food to the stomach instead of giving each part of our body. Like that, even pouring of water, watering of trees, you have to water it to the root level. Not necessarily you have to give to other parts of the. Like that, if you pray, if you offer your pray the lotus feet of God, or the Godhead Krishna, then you not the automatically the demigods will also be satisfied. That is what. And so the essence of that is, yesterday we have discussed certain points, Mataji. What I told him also, I wanted to repeat that in 24th, importance of God, the chanting, you surrender, you remove all, you give up all your sins and only surrender to the lotus feet of Godhead. Manmanava mad bhakto majjadi mam namaskuru, mame vaisi satyante, pratijane priyesi me. That clearly indicates Krishna in 18.65 Bhagavad Gita, that you surrender to me, you surrender to me, you you always chant me, you always pray me, I will take care of you. And that is what he has told, he has given this message. And
Okay, thank you.
of course, because others have to speak, we have discussed, Mati, but yeah, we want to hear from you the essence of these things.
Thank you, Prabhu. I appreciate. Prafulla Mataji. Prafulla Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hmm.
Krishna is the, what I have understood Mataji, Krishna is the cause of all causes, all manifestations, all his energies, all his experiences come from him only. So we should pray to him, we should worship him, and as he says, Aham Sarvasya Prabhava Mattam Sarva Pravartate. So as just now Prabhu said, as pouring water at the root of the tree, all the branches are neutralized, nutrition they get. Like that, if we are worshipping to Lord, then all the demigods who are parts and parcels, they are also satisfied. And as is the cause of all causes, and every energy comes from him, all moving and non-moving, everything come from him. So we should worship to him, and we should be, one more thing is that we should be humble. Humility we have learned from this, from the Prachits ancestors. They already knew that, already had before that, from Narada Muni, from Lord Brahma, from Lord Shiva, and from Lord Vishnu. But again, they wanted more and more about the glories of the Lord, because it is not ending. We should not be satisfied about our spiritual life. We should go on hankering about more and more with humility, and we should approach the spiritual master for that. Hare Krishna Mata. Thank you, Mata.
Thank you very much, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Anjali Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Living entity is born to serve Supreme Personality of Godhead, and your life should be simple as possible. And there's no use of this material qualities for devotional services of Krishna. And we should not get puffed by the material that we have. Hare Krishna.
We should not get, live a simple life and not get
Puffed with the material that we have.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Okay, very nice. Anything else? Anyone? Prem Prakash, Ardas Prabhu, would you like to add?
No, Mataji, let them act. Thank you, Mataji.
Okay, anyone else? What are you taking away from the chapter that we just finished? Narad Muni has given the instructions on various aspects. Very nice, thank you. Without developing devotional service to Krishna, the practices in itself, even the three kinds of births. You know what are the three kinds of births which are mentioned for a human being? Birth by father and mother, birth by the spiritual master with the Gayatri mantra, and then birth by performing Vedic rituals. All these three kinds of births also have no meaning if one is not developing the practice of devotional service. There is no meaning after studying Vedic literature if one is not able to come to the conclusion of the Vedic literature, like Veda Anta. So it's useless. Can you believe, like, we give it such a high ranking? Fruitive activities are useless. Possessing, what is it? Janma Aishwarya Shrutashri Bhi, possessing high birth, possessing a lot of riches, education, or beauty are useless if it is not being used in Krishna consciousness. I'm not saying that one should not aspire for it and become dull and just develop a false sense of renunciation. I'm saying go into it with the full complete knowledge. What is it? What is the motivating factor? Karmis also work. They also have a purpose, right? They also have a purpose to achieve so many things. Devotees also have a purpose. Prabhupada is one of the biggest entrepreneurs in the history of the world, right? Traveling from one country to another country, opening the temples, opening so many gurukuls, preaching, meeting the leaders. It's a job of an entrepreneur. It's not that because he has taken sannyas, so he has sat down in a corner with his japa beads and not doing anything. Prabhupada, yes, there are two kinds of devotees, Ghoshanandi and Bhajananandi. You know that? Ghoshanandi and Bhajananandi. Do you know these two words? Ghoshanandi and Bhajananandi.
Yes, Mataji.
What does it
Mataji.
mean? What does it mean? Ghoshanandi and Bhajananandi.
Ghostanandis, they preach, they go and preach. Bhajanandis are sitting in one place and chanting, and they are they're
Yes.
doing the
Thank
giving the
you.
service of Krishna.
So yes, so Ghoshanandi is one who is a preacher who will actually take efforts like Srila Prabhupada, right, to help the masses by actually approaching them, even though they are thankless. People are thankless, but we still go to them. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether you're thankless to me or thankful to me, but I'll still approach you. That's Ghoshanandi. Bhajananandi is like Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, like sitting at one place or Haridas Thakur, sitting at one place and chanting the holy name of the Lord. That itself is very powerful. Their chanting is not like our chanting. That itself shakes the earth and breaks the atmosphere very purified for a Ghoshanandi's words to be absorbed and understood. So both are important. But Prabhupada taught us to become more Ghoshanandis. And Narmani is saying just simply by having knowledge is not going to make one move forward in Krishna consciousness. Service to Krishna is all perfect. There is no need to worship. Worship is different than respect. We respect everyone because everyone belongs to Krishna, right? We respect even a small ant, even though its life may not have any significance for me, but we'll still respect that ant because it belongs to Krishna. Atma is the same. So, but we don't worship. We respect, but we don't worship. The service to Krishna is all perfect. There's no need to go anywhere else. And then surrendering to Krishna is the ultimate goal of one's life. If we have any other goal or any other material desire, then we cannot make this as the ultimate goal. It's not going to happen. Why was I reading this? It's not going to happen if somebody has some material desire. They won't be able to make Krishna as ultimate goal. Krishna is the cause of all causes, and understand that whatever pastime Prachetas went through, Krishna is the cause behind it. It was all a play by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Learn humility. Humility means what? What is the definition of humility from Bhagavad Gita? I think we discussed it. What does humility mean? What is the meaning of the word humility?
Not expect respect of honor.
Yes, not expecting honor from someone. So not expecting honor from someone is the definition of humility. Now, prachetas are basically the kings, right? The rulers, but they don't become sannyasis so they can attract more honor. That's not the goal. Okay, it doesn't matter because you see this honor, dishonor, the duality, hot and cold, happiness, distress, victory, defeat. These are the things of the material world. people in spiritual world don't speak that language. It doesn't work there. Okay, it all that matters is Krishna. It doesn't matter for anyone else. Everyone else matters because of Krishna. There's nothing which is there with more valuable than Krishna. Everybody in Vrindavan is in that mood because everything is around Krishna. Then approach the spiritual master like Vidur approached Maitreya Rishi, like Prachetas approached Narad Muni, because on our accord we cannot do it. Lead a simple life and not get puffed up by material assets. Very difficult to do in this age, but good luck. So simple life, don't make the life complex. I think I discussed that the minute we buy more than what we really need, we give it a piece of our mind. Both peace, literally like a piece, like Piece, and also peace, which is like Peace. Both. We give both. If we have more, we actually give our piece of our mind to that particular object. So when we give it to that particular object or asset, it's difficult to become Krishna conscious. Okay. Okay. Question, reflection, realization, and I want to go to the activities of Maharaj Priyavrat. I will move on. So I will read this very quickly. Or if someone wants to read this part, you can raise your hand. This part, introduction that Prabhupada is writing, and then we'll go to verse 1. I actually gave class on verse 1 a year ago at Gita Nagari, so I have that presentation. So I'll do that. Ayushi Mataji, I'll give you a chance, but if your mic is not good, then we will ask you to stop. Okay, don't mind at that time. Go ahead. Did she leave? Did Ayushi Mataji leave? All right, so activities of Maharaj Priyavrat, 5th Canto Srimad Bhagavatam, which is called the creative impetus. 5th Canto Srimad Bhagavatam is about the creation, the secondary creation of this material world where we are. So, chapter 1 starts with activities of Maharaj Priyavrat. This chapter describes how King Priyavrat enjoyed the royal opulence and majesty and then returned to full knowledge. King Priyavrat was detached from worldly opulence and then he became attached to his kingdom. But finally, he again became detached from material enjoyment and thus achieved liberation. When King Parikshit heard about this, he was struck with wonder. But he was somewhat bewildered as to how a devotee with no attachment for material enjoyment could later become attached to it. Thus, in astonishment, he questioned Sukdev Goswami about it. In response to the king's queries, Sukdev Goswami said that devotional service, being transcendental, cannot be deviated by any material influences. Priyavrat had received transcendental knowledge from the instructions of Narad, and therefore he did not want to enter a materialistic life of enjoyment in a kingdom. He accepted the kingdom, however, at the request of such superior demigods as Lord Brahma and Lord Indra, the king of the heaven. Everything is under the control of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Supreme Controller, and everyone must work accordingly. Just as a bull is controlled by a rope tied to its nose, so all conditioned souls are forced to work under the spells of the modes of nature. A civilized man therefore works according to the institution of Varna and Ashram. Even in materialistic life, however, no one is free to act. Everyone is compelled to act except a certain type of body offered by the Supreme Lord, and thus be allotted different grades of happiness and distress. Therefore, even if one artificially leaves home and goes to the forest, he again becomes attached to materialistic life. Family life is compared to a fortress for practicing sense control. When the senses are controlled, one may live either at home or in forest. There is no difference. There is Bhaktivinoda Thakur Prabhupada's song, Grihe Thako, Vane Thako, Sada, Gora Hari, Hato, something like that. Whether you live in the house or you live in the forest, always remember Lord Hari. When Maharaj Priyavrat, following the instruction of Lord Brahma, accepted the royal throne, his father Manu left home for the forest. Maharaj Priyavrat then married Bharishmati, the daughter of Vishwakarma. In the womb of Bharishmati, he got 10 sons named Agnidhara, Idhma Jiva, Yagnabahu, Mahavira, Hiranya Reta, Grihita Prashtha, Savan, Medhatithi, Vitihotra, and Kavi. He also begot one daughter whose name was Urjashwati. Maharaj Priyavrat lived with his wife and family for many thousands of years. The impressions from the rims of Maharaj Priyavrat's chariot wheels created 7 oceans and 7 islands. Of the 10 sons of Priyavrat, 3 sons named Kavi, Mahavira, and Savan accepted sannyas, the 4th order of life, and the remaining 7 sons became the rulers of the 7 islands. Maharaj Priyavrat also had a second wife in whom he begot 3 sons named Uttama, Raivata, and Tamasa. All of them were elevated to the post of Manu. Sukhdev Goswami thus described how Maharaj Priyavrat achieved liberation. Okay, we start. This is the auspicious pastime of Maharaj Priyavrat. Okay, whoever wants to recite the verse could raise your hands, please. Raju, Vacha. Mataji, go ahead. Prafulla, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Rajovacha Priyabrato Bhagavata Atmarama Katham Mune Gruher Aranmana Yonmula Karma Bandha Parabhava. Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Madhumai Krishna Kanta, Mataji.
ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय राजा उवाच प्रियव्रतो भागवता आत्मारामः कथं मुने गृहे अरमता यन्मूलः कर्मबन्धः पराभवः. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Sujata Subhash, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Raja uvacha priyavrto bhagavata atmarama katam mune grahe aramata yanmulaha karma bandha parabhavaha. Thank you Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Chitra Mohini, Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. राजो उवाच प्रियव्रतो भागवत आत्मा रामा कथं मुने गृहे अरमत यन्मूला कर्मबन्धा पराभवः.
Thank you, Mataji. Anjali, Mataji.
राजो उवाच प्रियव्रतो भागवत आत्मा रामः कथं मुने गृह अरमत यन्मूलः कर्मबन्धः पराभवः. हरे कृष्ण माताजी.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Srinivas Rao Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Rajovacha Priyabrato Bhagavata Atma Rama Kadam Mune Gruhe Aramata Yanmulaha Karma Bandha Parabhavaha. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Lakshmi Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी. राजोवाच प्रियव्रतो भागवता आत्मा राम कथं मुने गृहे अरमता यन्मूलः कर्मबन्ध पराभवः.
Thank you, Mataji. Sujata Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी. राजा उवाच प्रियव्रतो भागवत आत्मा राम कथं मुने गृहे अरमता यन्मूल कर्मबन्ध पराभवः.
Vijay Kumari Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी. राजोवाच प्रियं वृदो भगवद आत्मा रामाय कथं मुने गृहे अरमद यन्मूल कर्मः बन्ध पराभव. Thank you Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Galaxy S9.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी.
Hare Krishna.
राजोवाच प्रियव्रतो भगवता आत्मा रामा कथं मुने गृहे रामता यन्मूलः कर्मा बन्ध परपवः. हरे कृष्ण माताजी.
Thank you,
very
Hare
much.
Krishna. Madhu Soni Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. राज उवाच प्रियव्रतो भागवत आत्मा राम कथं मुने गृहर्मत यन्मूलः कर्मबन्ध पराभवः. Thank you माताजी. हरे
Thank you very
कृष्ण.
much, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Raj Uvacha. King Parikshit said, Priyavrataha, King Priyavrat, Bhagavata, the great devotee, Atma Aramaha, Who takes pleasure in self-realization? Katham, why? Mune, O great sage, grihe, at home. Aramat, enjoyed. Yat mulaha, having which as the root cause. Karma bandha, the bondage of fruitive activities. Parabhava, the defeat of one's human mission. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. King Parikshit inquired from Sukdev Goswami, O great sage, why did King Priyavrat, who was a great self-realized devotee of the Lord, remain in household life, which is the root cause of the bondage of karma, fruitive activities, and which defeats the mission of life, mission of human life? Purport by His Divine Grace Prabhupada Ki Jai. In the fourth canto, Srila Sukdev Goswami explains that Narad Muni perfectly instructed King Priyavrat about the mission of human life. The mission of human life is to realize oneself and then gradually go back home, back to Godhead. Since Narad Muni instructed the king fully on this subject, why did he again enter household life, which is the main cause of material bondage? Maharaj Parikshit was greatly astonished that King Priyavrat remained in household life, especially since he was not only a self-realized soul, but also a first-class devotee of the Lord. A devotee actually has no attraction for household life. But surprisingly, King Priyavrat enjoyed household life very much. One may argue, why is it wrong to enjoy household life? The reply is that in household life, one becomes bound by the results of fruitive activities. The essence of household life is sense enjoyment. And as long as one engrosses his mind in working hard for sense enjoyment, one becomes bound by the reactions of fruitive activities. The ignorance of self-realization is the greatest defeat in human life. Human form of life is specially meant for getting out of the bondage of fruitive activities. But as long as one is forgetful of his life's mission and acts like an ordinary animal, eating, sleeping, mating, defending, he must continue his conditioned life of material existence. Such a life is called Swarupa Vishmriti, forgetfulness of one's real constitutional position. Therefore, in Vedic civilization, one is trained in the very beginning of life as brahmachari. A brahmachari must execute austerities and refrain from sex indulgence. Therefore, if one is completely trained in the principles of brahmacharya, he generally does not enter household life. He is then called Nashtiki brahmachari, which indicates total celibacy. King Parikshit was thus astonished that the great King Priyavrat, although trained in the principles of Nashtika Brahmacharya, entered household life. The word Bhagavata Atmaramaha are very significant in this verse. If one is self-satisfied as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is called Bhagavata Atmaramaha. There are different types of satisfaction. Karmis are satisfied in their fruitive activities. Jnanis are satisfied to merge into the effulgence of Brahman. And devotees are satisfied to engage in the Lord's service. The Lord is self-satisfied because he is fully opulent, and one who is satisfied by serving him is called Bhagavat Atmaramaha. Manushya Nam Sahash Reshu. Out of many thousands of persons, one may endeavor for liberation. And of many thousands of persons attempting to become liberated, one may achieve liberation from the anxieties of material existence and become self-satisfied. Even that satisfaction, however, is not the ultimate satisfaction. The Jnanis and the Karmis have desires, as do the yogis. But devotees have no desires. Satisfaction in the service of the Lord is called akam, freedom from desire, and this is the ultimate satisfaction. Therefore, Maharaj Parikshit inquired, how could one who was fully satisfied on the highest platform be satisfied with family life? The word parabhav in this verse is also very significant. When one is satisfied in family life, he is doomed because he must already have forgotten his relationship with Krishna or with the Lord. Prahlad Maharaj describes how the activities of family life implicate one more and more. Atma patam grihamandhakupam. Household life is like a dark well. If one falls into this well, his spiritual death is assured. How? Priyavrat. How Priyavrat Maharaj remain a liberated Paramahansa even within the family life is described in text 23 of this chapter. Okay, let's go. I think I did the Om Agyanti Minandasya Agyanantin Jalakaya Prabhupada. Krishna. So King Parikshit inquired from Sukdev Goswami, O great sage, why did King Priyavrat, who was a great self-realized devotee of the Lord, remain in household life, which is the root cause of the bondage of karma, fruitive activities, and which defeats the mission of human life? Prabhupada is discussing very important point. As I said, I have already given this class somewhere else, so I will probably try to see. This is a verse. How could King Priyavrat, this is a question by Parikshit Maharaj, to Sukdev Goswami, who is Bhagavat Atmaramaha, a great devotee who is satisfied in satisfying the self-satisfied Lord, enjoy household life. Because household life is what is compared to is a root cause of bondage of karma, yanmula karma bandha, defeats the mission of life, parabhava, swarupa vishmriti, forgetfulness of one's real constitutional position, reinforces the conditional nature and one develops raga, bhaya, and krodha. And it's a chapala sukha. You know, chapala sukha. Sukha means happiness. Chapala means flickering. Like Prabhupada gives example of a candle light, which is there in the wind, and it's flickering. So the happiness is like that. So the question which Parikshit Maharaj is asking to Sukdev Goswami is very valid. Because he's saying that the household life is a root cause of all these things. Bondage of karma, defeats the mission of human life, makes one forget one's constitutional position, makes one develop raga, bhaya, krodha, is a chapala sukha. And what do? You know, even in the temple, when we see that some devotees want to change ashram, they go through this conflict. Somebody is trained as a brahmachari, but now want to enter grahastha. So what do? You know, we are going to be judged. We are going to give up the orange clothes and take up white clothes. Or if outside the temple, you know, we are all also facing the same problem. What do? Should I go with my family, or should I renounce the family? Yeah, do you get through this conflict, this conflicted mindset? Do you have it? No, yes. Sometimes you get this question for your own self. Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
Mataji.
Mother.
Which we are facing. This happens.
So we face this, that how do we do this? How do we actually move forward? Okay, let's see. Or Bahurambha Laghu Kriya, right? Chapala Sukha. So Prabhupada gives this, that in Indian weddings, Bahur Arambha. Arambha means beginning. Bahur means magnanimous, grandiose, very, very grand beginning. Laghu Kriya, the activity is very small. The beginning or the arrangements are huge, humongous, but the activity, Kriya means activity, Laghu means small, but the activity is very small. Indian weddings are like that, right? Very magnanimous arrangements, but ultimately is not based on the principles of Varna and Ashrama, and one is actually going towards all these 5 things. It's a very sorry situation according to the Shastra. So if the personalities, great sages, look at somebody getting married, they don't feel happy, they feel sad. They're not going to Krishna consciousness. So some of the ways to prevent one from entering the family life. Okay, I'm going to talk about these ways. I do want you to hear with rapt attention, because then I'm going to ask you a question. I propose some of the ways. This is my brainchild. Of course, Prabhupada's teachings. Without Prabhupada's mercy and devotees' mercy, you can't actually get to this. What are some of the ways? Don't enter. Better not enter, right? If you don't burn the spark, there will be no fire. So don't enter the family life, there will be no problem. So in ordinary household life, what are the cons? That one must earn money. Do you agree? Somebody has to maintain a family. They need to have earning or no earning. Live on a
Yes,
public
Yes.
it
welfare.
has to be there.
One must.
Earning is required.
All right. So everyone is agreeing. One must have children. Must, because Prabhupada says that, right? What is his name? The one who very witty guy in the court of Akbar, I think. Prabhupada mentions him a lot.
Birbal.
Birbal.
No,
Birbal.
no, it's not Birbal. The name wrong. It's not Akbar. Chanakya Pandit.
Chanakya Pandit.
Okay, Chanakya Pandit says that Putram Hinam Grihanam Shunyam. Right, without children, the house is, the married life is zero. So it's a must to have children. I'm talking from principle based. I am not giving my opinion. I might have a different opinion, but this is what is based in the Shastras. Okay, so we are not bringing our opinion. This is Shastric reference. One must have a social circle. If somebody is married, somebody have relatives and they are living in the forest and their house is in the forest, nobody visits, that's not really like a grahasta. That's like a sannyasi or a vanaprastha. One must be able to enjoy senses and provide for the family. Right? All these things are needed. So this is a very hard life. Don't enter. So one is Deha Patya Kalatra Deshu Atma Sanyeshu Asatsu Api Tesham Pramatta Nidhanam Pashyanapi Na Pashyati. So Srimad Bhagavatam says, this is my argument number one. Don't enter the human life because this is what is happening. Deha Apatya Kalatra Deshu. Person devoid of Atma Tattva. Do not inquire into the problems of life, being too attached to fallible soldiers like the body, which is Deha. Apatya, which is children born from the body, Kalatra, which is wife. Although sufficiently experienced, they still do not see their inevitable destruction. So one gets attached to in family life to one's own body. They get attached to wife, and then they get attached to children. So the attachment is given all here. Where is Krishna? So don't enter. Okay, no need. And then we know that they're all fallible soldiers. We have seen nothing lasts, but we still enter it. Okay, this other person's didn't last, but mine will last. Let me go. So that's number one reason, don't enter. And then the second reason is that guna vichitra. This Prabhupada explains in 3rd Canto 26th chapter that material world is nothing but guna vichitra. Guna means rope, right? Rope, or it also means 3 modes of material nature. Vichitra means what? I have said this so many times now. What does vichitra mean?
Strange.
No.
Variety.
Variety. Very nice. Variety. So there are so many varieties in the material modes of nature for enjoyment. Like there's so many varieties. If you go to buy, I went the other day, maybe a few months ago, to buy a red color thread. Okay, just a simple red color thread to sew something. And they were like 20 different shades of red. I got confused which red. So carrot red, blood red, or this red, that red. So there's so many varieties. So one's attention will get, divided in choosing from these varieties for sense enjoyment. So don't enter the household life, because it's not just about my own choice. We have to worry about the family members' choice also. Yeah, do we face this problem if we want to buy something for the house and we ask opinion from the family members? It is so difficult to come to consensus. If you're taking
Yes.
opinion, I have that.
Yes.
Yes, Mataji.
So
Yes.
difficult.
Very
Dear
true.
Guna Vichitra. So much time is wasted. By wasting time, don't enter. No. Okay, that's argument number 2. Argument number 3, give a Shastric reference or an analytical reference. I think you must have seen this slide. This is Namanish Prabhu's slide. In early years, this was the first slide I saw, first presentation that Prabhu gave 22 years ago, which brought me to ISKCON basically. So in the early years of 20th century, a scientist analyzed constituents of the human body. Okay. He analyzed that human body was made of iron to make enough 6 small nails, carbon to make 900 pencils, sugar to sweeten 10 cups of coffee, potassium to fire a toy cannon, lime and fat to make 7 bars of soap, phosphorus to make 20 matchboxes, water to fill 10-gallon water tank, little sulfur, little calcium, and other trace elements. And what is so this is all calcium, iron, phosphorus, water content, other substances. What is the total worth? Now, till 2 years ago, the total worth was $280. No, I'm so sorry, $2.80. I think it will be more now because the inflation is everywhere. Even if you make it 10 times or 100 times, it's still like, the human body that we are taking care of so much is worth of this much. So why to, make the meet the needs of the body? Don't enter. Why to have children? Why to have a loving partner? Don't enter, because this is the worth, your worth, their worth. Okay? This is one. Then number 4, I think we have discussed this. The plight of a man is a wonder indeed. From Mahabharata, yes, everyone knows this.
Yes, Mataji.
Anybody who does not know this?
Yes, Mataji, we know it.
Everybody knows it. Okay, I'll just quickly in 10 seconds say. So there was this man who was running down the lane because he was chased by this elephant. So not knowing where to go, he climbed up the tree and was hanging by this branch. And then the on the branch there were this black and white mice which were eating the branch away. And he saw down, there was a pond which was filled with poisonous snakes. And then above, the branch above had these honeybees which were getting disturbed because of his weight. So they were coming and biting him. And this elephant was trying to uproot this tree. Now, on one hand, Krishna was extending his support to, come out of all this drama. But what is this person busy in? Because of the shaking of the honeycomb, there was some dribbling of the honey. So the person was very busy in adjusting the tongue so that the most of the honey falls on the tongue without seeing all these things. So what is white and black mice represent? Day and nights. With each and every day and night, we are losing our lifespan. What does elephant represent? Death. What does this snakes represent? What does the snakes represent? Who knows?
Senses.
Yes, very nice. So you see, our senses are so poisonous. I think there are 5 in number 2 here. So we are, but and Krishna is saying, and the honeybee bite of the honeybee represents day-to-day problems of life. Ignoring all this, including Krishna's hand, which is waiting for us to get out. This person is very busy in adjusting the tongue so honey falls on it. So the the enjoyment in the family life is something like this. Forget everything. Forget that I'm actually dying. I'm getting beaten up by all these miseries of life. My senses are dragging me here and there, and they're like poisonous snakes. Just forget. Just try to celebrate a wedding ceremony or celebrate the upcoming festival very nicely, buy new clothes. I'm not saying, this is Shastra saying, okay, this is not Prem Kishore's opinion. So these are the Shastric evidences to say, don't enter the family life. And of course, evidence number 5, liquid beauty. Everyone knows the story. Is there anybody who does not know the story? If you don't know the
We know
story,
it,
then
Mataji.
only speak. If you don't know the story, then only tell me. Do you, anyone here, you know the story or you don't know the story? So
We
there's
know the
this.
story, Mataji.
Okay.
Know
So
the story.
You know the
thank
story.
you. Okay, thank
We
you.
don't know, Mataji. We don't know the story.
Don't know the story. Okay. Okay, so there was this once a king. Okay, the king was very attracted to a lady in his kingdom. She was very pretty and he wanted to marry her. So the girl didn't feel comfortable, but because he was the king, you can't say no to the king, right? She said, okay, come and see me in my house. I live across the river in 7 days. So in those 7 days, she took laxatives and purgatives. Right? So she basically she vomited and she passed so much stool. And she stored her vomit and stool in different storage containers. And then because of so much of vomiting and diarrhea, she became very thin and frail. So after 7 days, the king comes to marry her. And he's very excited that he's going to see the love of his life, the beautiful girl. And when she opens the door, he couldn't recognize her. He asked for the girl. She says, I'm the same girl. Said, no, I can't believe it. You're not the same girl. That girl was very pretty. Says, okay, let me show you where my beauty components are stored. I'll take you. So she takes him to a room and shows him her vomit and stool stores. It says, these are my separated beauty components. So basically, don't marry because the other person's beauty is nothing but vomiting and diarrhea. Okay, this is another Shastric evidence. And then this brahmachari and rat, right? Don't marry because we're going to end up like this. There was a brahmachari who was a very good disciple of the spiritual master, and the spiritual master had to go for pilgrimage, and he gave the responsibility of ashram to brahmachari. But brahmachari loved to read a lot. So when he was taking care of the ashram, he was disturbed by a mouse. And he asked his friend, what do I do? You know, this my mouse is disturbing my sadhana so much. Then his friend said, oh, don't worry, keep a cat. The cat will eat the mouse, and then you will be able to do everything you want. So he brings a cat. She kills the mouse, but then to keep up the cat, so and from further entry of more mice in the ashram, the cat has to be maintained. And now the cat is asking for milk. So the friend again, brahmachari again goes to the same friend and said, you told me I keep a cat. My problems will be solved. Okay, the mouse is not there, but the cat is now asking for milk. What should I do? What is the problem? Keep a cow. The cow will give milk, and the cat will drink milk. There will be no mouse. Okay, this brahmachari goes and keeps a cow. But now, if you have ever seen the upkeep of a cow, the cows have to be maintained. They have to be fed. They eat a lot. And they have to be milked twice a day. They have to be bathed. If they get sick, then they need to be taken care of. So it was eating up too much of brahmachari's time. And he went back to his friend and said, you told me to take care of one mouse, you keep a cat. And because the cat is to be maintained with milk, keep a cow. But I'm seeing that I'm getting more and more busy. Now what do I do? When do I read? You know, what do I do? Where's my Krishna consciousness? And what is the problem? Get married. You'll have a wife. The wife will take care of the cow. The cow will give milk. Cat will drink milk. There'll be no mouse. And you read. Then what happens? He gets married. And then this happens. He's got such a big family that there's no time for Krishna consciousness. So don't enter the family life because, you know, a little bit of a trigger can actually make us fall down a lot of steps. So don't enter. And the other argument we can give is don't enter the family life is this, that start remembering the Shastric knowledge when exposed to the triggers. You know, sometimes you get exposed to a trigger, like Ajamil was exposed to a prostitute being hugged by this drunken man. So he's Krishna says this, right? That the desires may go, but the root of the desire may still remain. Just at the end of the paddy season, just at the end of the harvest, the farmers run the paddy, but the roots are there under the ground. So when the season is right, they still come up. So even though one may be practicing the regulatory principles very nicely, but that doesn't mean that one has become a very big devotee of Krishna, because we may be triggered. What do we do? Right? Jamil did start remembering Shastric knowledge and start chanting Hare Krishna. But the question is, all these evidences I presented that one should not enter this family life, does it really work? Do they really work? Can we tell this to ourselves and say, I don't want to enter a family life? Huh?
No.
You're not
No,
talking about
Mataji.
This
No,
material
no,
is
Mataji.
not possible.
okay. So everybody is agreeing that it doesn't really work. So all these things, you see, even though understanding such rich knowledge in Krishna consciousness does not help. Can you believe that? Does not help to one get rid of the desire to enter a family life. Because the desire is so deep rooted. Then what do we do? What do we do? Commit suicide? Will that help? Huh? Will that help?
No,
No.
Mataji.
That will also not help.
Devotional service.
So what do we do then? What do we do? Let's see. So we are dealing with the external energy of the Lord. Why it doesn't help? Why all these things don't help? because we are dealing with external energy of Krishna. External energy of Krishna is very powerful. Krishna says this divine energy of mind consisting of the three modes of material nature is difficult to overcome. He's saying it. It's difficult. But those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. So, only way to overcome the external energy is to surrender to Krishna. On our own accord, by our own tark and vitark, by our own reasoning, we cannot. Don't become like a Jamil. We cannot. So, Krishna further says in 3rd chapter, verse 33, even a man of knowledge acts according to his own nature, for everyone follows the nature he has acquired from the three modes. Okay, what can repression accomplish? Right? According to the modes of nature, even a man of knowledge acts according to his nature, and nature is acquired from three modes, and three modes are energy of Krishna, which he says are difficult to overcome. So higher education fails to help. Impossible to get out of the Maya by theoretical knowledge. In bondage because of long association with material nature. So solution, what is the solution? Transcendental platform of Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is a gradual process which helps one get out of material entanglement by engaging in material prescribed duties. No one should suddenly give up prescribed duties artificially. Stay in one's own position and try to attain Krishna consciousness under superior training. So the thing is, one needs to face one's conditional nature. Face it. Somebody wants to change the ashram, let them change. Don't fake it. Don't fake it because Krishna would not like it. Or somebody wants to get married and stay in the family life but feels conflicted that, okay, I'm going to enter the family life, or I'm already in a family life but my family is not very conducive of Krishna consciousness. Face it. Face it. Say it to yourself that this is happening and make it as a prayer. Okay, because when we face it, then Krishna likes honesty. So one could indeed use this as a jumping board. You know, we can make our platform by facing our desires. Krishna, I thought I got it. You know, I thought I got it, but the more I think I got it, the more I think I'm like so far behind, so far away from getting it. So what should I do? Can we, you know, make our life wherever we are right now as a jumping board, or a board which we can use to actually stand where you are and then make such high flight in Krishna consciousness that you end up in Krishna's abode. No need to fake. Okay, Prabhupada doesn't like it. So Krishna conscious family is a solution. So Priyavrat Maharaj, coming back to the verse today, that Priyavrat Maharaj, Parikshit Maharaj is saying that how can he develop attachment to a household life because he's already been instructed by the Narad Muni and has all qualifications of a devotee, and most important qualification that he has is Atma Aramaha. He takes pleasure in self-realization, doesn't need pleasure by association of the family. You see, all these big arrangements of celebrations that go across the world, are for pleasure only, no? For celebrating happiness? Yes or no? Why weddings are such a big business across the world? In US, you know, they get booked out 2 years, 3 years in advance to get married in a place. I'm seeing it now. The people at work who get married, my God, they have to reserve the place a year or 2 years in advance. So why so much of melodrama is going on? Because we think this is a source of our pleasure, right? Or wrong?
Yes, yes.
Right, Mataji. Yes,
But
Mataji.
Priyavrat Maharaj is Atma Ramaha. He is self-satisfied in taking pleasure in serving Krishna. How come he became attached to family? Doesn't make sense. You know, one who is used to eating in the golden spoon and a golden plate and drinking from a golden glass will not like to eat from a paper plate. Something like that. So why did he become? So that's the question. You understand? It's such a detailed question by Parikshit Maharaj Sukdev Goswami. It doesn't make sense to me. So we learned that how Priyavrat Maharaj, Priyavrat Maharaj Parikshit, Priyavrat Maharaj actually entered the household life as a sense of responsibility. It was not out of the sense of enjoyment. It's a responsibility which was given to him by Brahma and Indra, which we will see. But I want you to know that this is a very good question to ask. And then we have to ask this question to ourselves too before we move into, like in temple we see all the time that, you know, these brahmachari boys want to get married and they want to go become a grahastha, but they have to change ashram and they go through so much mental thing. What will people think of us? What will happen this? What will happen this? What will you think of your own self is first most important. Are you being honest? If you are being honest to yourself, others will appreciate that. If you are being fake to yourself, for how long, you know, for how long can we remain fake? That is why we see so many fake spiritualists across the globe. Prabhupada calls it as show bottle spiritualism. Prabhupada coined that word, show bottle spiritualism. We are a show bottle, you know, we're like showing that we're spiritualist, but inside we are trying to do punah punascharvita jarvananam, trying to relish our mind, keep our mind concentrated on that object of sense gratification. So better to face it. This is the message from this verse. Even though there are so many, you know, as I mentioned, as I summarized from the verse only in the first line, these are all the downsides of being in a family. That is the root cause of bondage, defeats the mission of human life, one forgets one's constitutional position, and reinforces conditional nature. One develops raga, bhaya, krodha, is a flickering happiness and is not really a very big activity in itself to maintain a family. I'm so sorry, I should stop sharing the screen. So, I think we end here for this verse. Is there any question, reflection, or realization or correction? Understand what is Parikshit Maharaj's question, from where he's asking, but also understand where we are standing. Okay, am I really standing at the level of Priyavrat Maharaj, or am I going to reason out? I gave 7 reasons. When we will come to 5th canto, 14th chapter, Forest of Enjoyment, there will be more reasons for not going into family life. The whole chapter is about don't enter the family life. Okay. Questions, reflections, realizations, corrections. I think we are late for Manasiksha now, right? Am I audible? Because this class is... Okay, Mataji. What is no reflection, no realization, no correction, no question? I think we...
Mataji,
Just
when you
thinking
said
on
no
it.
family life, no Sastra, everybody got struck.
Yeah,
What to
we
do
already,
now?
we
We
already into
already
the
entered.
family life.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
I'm not saying no family life. I also have 2 children. I'm not saying that.
No,
I'm
you are talking
making
from
the proposition.
in a light way, Mataji. Yes, we got the message. We got the message.
Okay. Anjali Mataji, you have a
Yeah,
question?
we got the message, Mataji. But
You got the
we are
message.
just stuck up because now we know that this whole chapter is for not entering into the family life.
No, that's not the whole chapter about. That the whole chapter is about answering this first question of Parikshit Maharaj, that what made Priyavrat Maharaj.
Yeah, this today's day, not the whole chapter. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anyone else? Question, reflection, realizations, corrections. This is the verse. Bhim Prakash Haridas Prabhu. Dr. Saxena.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
And we have
Hare Krishna Mataji.
1 second, Prabhu. Maybe we can let her speak. Dr. Avasti. Yeah, go ahead, Mataji.
It's just a thought arise in my mind, Mataji.
Hmm.
There are many great devotees who have come, like Chatush Kumar, etc., who did not get married. You know? So why to enter the family life is means it can be their choice as well, right? Why Priyavrat Maharaj has to enter the family life?
Yeah, we will figure out. The mystery will be solved because he was asked to. He was ordered to. It was a higher order.
Okay. Hare Krishna. That's the only thing which occurred to me.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yes, Hare Krishna, Prem Prakash.
Entering into the family life, I mean, the purpose of the soul visiting the earth is to have the experience. And so, unless you have an experience and realize that the experience that you have is not worth having it, the repelling of the family life may not be easier. So, once you experience the reality of the material world, it would be probably very easy to detach yourself and attach to the Supreme Lord. This is one of the reasons why, and I think everybody is busy thinking about discounting you so that the family life still can be there, just on the lighter side of it.
So that is a not very good way of studying. You know, Prabhupada discusses in Nectar of Instruction, verse 1, Vacho Vegan, Manaso Krodha Vegan. In the purport, Prabhupada discusses that, you know, people learn by different ways. One way a thief learns is by stealing. A person, you know, a thief knows and has seen probably that if they steal, they will be put behind the jail and there'll be punishment, right? But then does it prohibit them from stealing? No, they still go ahead and steal. But a person who's intelligent will learn from other person's experience and say, no, this is not for me. I'm not going to steal. I don't want to be behind the bars. So entering the family life to get an experience of the family life so that we do become distasteful towards the family life is not a very intelligent choice. It's not a very intelligent reason also. Because, you know, Prabhupada gives example of an old man in a family. They've seen that raising a family is such a difficult thing. But what do they dream of? Their sons getting married, then their grandchildren getting married, and they want to live to see their great grandchildren. Right? But then that's not that's not really a very intelligent way of living. So I appreciate your bringing up this very important point. I know you I know you are an undercover Krishna conscious person. Bring it up so we can have the discussion, even though the facts are clear to you. That's a quality, you know. Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, everyone is thinking.
Mataji, I may be wrong, but whether I don't know whether shall I ask you or not. Shall I, Mataji?
Yeah, why not? What's the downside of asking?
Okay. Mataji, if there is no family life, like what do you say? Childrens won't be there, and to worship Krishna, I don't know what to ask. Like to worship, like he created soul, he created us, Krishna created us, no Mataji. Like no family life means it will be end, like if nobody marries. I don't know.
Don't take the thank you for bringing it up, but don't take the discussion in a tangential manner. We are not here to decide whether one should marry or one should not marry. We are here to decide about our own self. Okay, we're not Jagat Guru. We're not Shri Prabhupada who can order you marry you, this person you marry, that person you don't marry, you leave your family. Prabhupada gave orders like that. Direct orders. Right. So what is the basic center of this discussion is how to become authentic to one's own self. If I have a desire to have a family, let's not intellectualize it. I discussed this, how we can it's a defense mechanism of one's psychology, intellectualization of a thing. I gave example, right? If somebody is fired from their job, rather than facing their own feelings, they intellectualize their experience. How? They start analyzing the company is running in loss. So they probably couldn't afford so many workers. And probably people who have left behind will also be getting a paycheck. this is called intellectualization. This does not help. What helps is this really sucks. I lost my job. I had to do so many things. I am sad. You know, that is
Yes.
called honesty. Understanding what I'm trying to say. Are you understanding? Are you understanding?
Yes, yes, Mataji.
Are you all understanding? No point. Krishna has not told Arjun even one time to run away from his feelings. Has he? In Bhagavad Gita, has he said even one time?
No, no, Mataji.
Okay. Shiva Patil Rovi sending me a funny message. Okay, thank you. Dinesh, Dr. Dinesh Saxena, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna himself has created this Varna Ashram order. How it shall be perfected if one doesn't run a family life?
No, again, you're intellectualizing and reasoning. It's not about that. It's about that what do I do with the desire that I have? Okay, it's about one's own self. Don't try to. Krishna has created the Varnashram system only for conditioned soul. The Varnashram system is not existing in Vaikuntha or Goloka Vrindavan. It's only here.
But we
Because we have desire.
are in the material world. But we are in the material world, Mataji.
Yes. Yes, that is why we need Varnashram system. Yeah, I am agreeing. I am agreeing. But also understand that the main goal of Varnashram system is not to have children and have a very big house and a very well paid off job. Is that the main goal of Varnashram system?
No, certainly
And
not.
that's Asuri Varnashram. I think 11th
Ultimately,
canto. Go ahead.
Ultimately, the purpose is to achieve Krishna by any ashram, whether it is brahmachari or the sannyas. The ultimate goal is attaining Krishna. No doubt.
Yes, very nice. That's that's called Devi Varnashram, where the goal is Krishna. But then there is another Varnashram called Asuri Varnashram.
Yeah.
I think 11th Canto Srimad Bhagavatam talks about it. Devi Varnashram system and Asuri Varnashram system. Asuri Varnashram system is like Ravan, Hiranyakashipu. They are Varna ashram, like Kshatriyas, they are Grahasthas, but their aim is not to become Krishna conscious.
But Gurusthasrama is also important, Mataji. After that, what is that? We have to follow that. We have to follow that.
Only if it is leading to Krishna consciousness, it is important.
Yes, that's why for Satsantana, Krishna, those who, if you want to give birth to children, that children to be progress in Krishna consciousness. That's what is only, no? Bhagavatam.
So I'm not giving my opinion. I am saying.
Yeah, that's what I meant also, Mataji.
It was tossing in my mind. Why? What is this all? Okay,
yeah, don't take that discussion. I know it's very hard to stay focused in the point that I'm bringing up. Don't take that discussion tangential. We are not here to discuss our opinion. I am just trying to teach or emphasize the point that it is very, very important to be honest to one's own self. Very, very important to be honest to one's own self. One needs to understand one's own psychophysical nature. Am I made to be a brahmachari? Am I made to be a grahastha? Am I made to be a sannyasi, or am I made to be a vanaprasth? What is my psychophysical nature like? Okay, don't try to copy. You see it a lot. You go live in ISKCON temple for 6 months, you will see it. Or you go and live with the devotees anywhere in your own community, you will see the confusion. So many brahmacharis I've seen now in my life. Should we marry? Should we change clothes? Should we ask our Guru Maharaj? Don't ask. Fear of judgment. It's fear of judgment. Okay, someone is writing, I got introduced to Krishna consciousness 6 months after marriage, so I was always thinking, Kash, मैं 6 महीने पहले मैं 6 months पहले. I wish I was introduced 6 months before to Krishna consciousness. That's really funny because you can still be Krishna conscious even if you're married. Okay. Dr. Saxena, you have something else to add?
Nothing, Mataji. I just forgot to lower my hand. Sorry, Mataji.